The language of love. This is a message largely for married couples, but it can apply to singles and to all relationships, especially male-female relationships. So, whatever your condition today, this message is for you. A couple of scriptures. Song of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse 6. I opened to my beloved, but my beloved had withdrawn and disappeared. My emotions were stirred when he spoke. I desired him, but I could not find him. I invited him, but he did not respond. And then Genesis chapter 3, 2 verses, verse 1 and verse 6. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord Yahweh God had made. And he said to the woman, did God say you are not allowed to eat from every tree in the garden? And then in verse 6, and when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit and ate, and gave also to her husband with her, and he ate. Have you ever heard this kind of complaint amongst married couples? The woman says, he never tells me that he loves me. The man responds, you know that I love you. I show it by the things that I do. The man says, you never want to make love. The woman says, you're so unromantic. Been there? Okay, if you're married, you've been there. One of those, or both. We've looked at marriage from so many angles, and we've discovered that the most important thing in marriage and in any relationship is the C word. Communication. Communication is the key to all relationships. Without it, two people cannot live together. Without it, there's always some kind of misunderstanding. Communication has to be there. And we've looked at the subject of communication from different angles. But today we're going to look at it in a way we've never seen it before. Today I'm going to reveal to you something you probably never heard before. I love doing that. And I hope that it will inspire you and excite you and get you on the road to true communication in your marriage relationship and to true happiness and to true expression of love. I want to teach you the language of love. Because language is the best way to communicate, isn't it? That you speak in the wrong language, if somebody doesn't understand what you're saying, there is no communication taking place. And very often, and most of the time in a marriage, there's miscommunication because the wrong language is being used by both parties. Well, how do we communicate? Only two ways of communicating what is inside of you. You guys should be able to know this in your sleep. And they are words and actions. Oh boy, is he ever going to preach without mentioning words and actions? Well, we learned that you need words and actions to release the anointing. Where does love come from? The Spirit. What is love? A fruit of the Spirit. If you want to release the anointing of love, it's going to require words and actions. The only two ways you can communicate are through words and actions. The only way that you can truly communicate love is through words and actions. Now here is the secret that nobody knows unless they've discovered it, unless it was revealed to them. Men and women respond differently to words and actions. Very differently. You see, a woman responds more to words than she does to actions. And a man responds more to actions than he does to words. I'm going to show you a little bit of how that works and why it works. You'll understand a little bit better why you're trying to communicate and your partner's not getting it because you're using the wrong thing. Yeah, you need both words and actions. And all of us respond to both words and actions. But a woman responds better to words, and a man responds better to actions. Let's have a look at it. A woman responds positively to tender words. Words. She responds negatively to harsh words. Do you know that children are affected by the words that they get from their parents? And you'll find that most women, when they grow up, if they've had bad experiences with their father shouting at them, speaking negative words at them, with their parents speaking negative words, a girl is more affected by that than what a man is. And when a woman grows up and she has this hurt of the past, of always been shouted at, she's very sensitive to being shouted at. Very sensitive. So that sink in. A man, he responds more to actions than words. A man responds to acceptance and recognition. These things are very important to him. He responds very negatively to rejection. Yes, I know we all do. And there's overlaps in these. But you'll see that a man responds far more to the actions that were carried out. And acceptance and rejection from the parents leaves a far greater scar on the man than the words that were spoken. He's very sensitive to being rejected. A woman's very sensitive to being spoken to harshly. Because of the way God has made man and woman, these two things become very clear and highlighted as we grow up. A woman responds more to emotion. A man responds more to intellect. I've said it before, and it's been said out there in psychological circles. Ask a woman her opinion, she'll tell you what she feels. Ask a man, he'll tell you what he thinks. Women think more with their emotions. They respond more with their emotions. Men respond more with their intellect. And it is probably for that main reason that women are more sensitive to words and men are more sensitive to actions. I'm going to try and make it clearer as we go on and explain it. So the best way to communicate, if you're in a marriage relationship or if you're in any kind of relationship, the best way to communicate is to use what your partner responds to the best. If you're a man, you need to learn to use words correctly. If you're a woman, you need to learn to act correctly to stir up love in your partner. Okay, so if you're going to pour out your love and influence and get a response from your woman, you're gonna have to use words. You see, women are right-brained. What's right-brained? Okay, it's not in the Bible. It's something they discovered through science. The right brain and the left brain. The left brain is the logical, more intellectual side, which men tend to rest in mostly. The right brain is the emotive, creative side, which women tend to rest in mostly. A woman thinks more right-brained. And so if you're going to reach a woman and appeal to her, you'll have to do it by appealing to her right brain, by appealing to her emotive creativity. How will you do that? How do you stir up the emotions? How do you appeal to the right brain? The right brain responds to pictures. Well, you're going to have to learn to build pictures. How can you build pictures? By the words that you use. By using the right kind of words, you communicate a picture and appeal to the woman's right brain. Now, intellectual words will appeal to the left brain. Have you noticed that when it comes to reading books or watching movies or any form of entertainment, the woman goes for the romance novels. She goes for the emotive romantic love stories. And the man gets the westerns and the science fiction and the war movies and all the guy stuff, all the action stuff. Women think emotively. They think with their right brain. If you want to reach a woman, you must appeal to what God has put into her. And you must use the right words. And the only action that you need to combine with it is touch. But non-sensual touch. A touch which expresses tenderness and love, combined with the pictures that you build through the words that you speak. Now, words are very powerful things. Words can make a person feel good. Words can make a person feel bad. It just takes a couple of good adjectives to change the picture. The woman says, "How do I look?" "You look okay." "Nice." You see, now, can you picture nice? Can you picture okay? It doesn't appeal to the right brain. It's a left brain way of thinking. Our men will say, "You look good, you look great." There's no picture there. She doesn't see it. It's not moving her. It's not stirring her. You're going to have to use more descriptive words. You know, beautiful is a good start, but it's also a very general word. Start using more descriptive words, because words will build pictures. You look like you could win a beauty contest right now. You're the most beautiful woman in the room, in the world. I know. How far do you want to go? Women want to hear this. They want the picture. You don't look and say, "You're too fat, you shouldn't be wearing that." She don't want to hear that. It's a bad picture. It creates negative emotions. You wonder why she's not responding positively to you. The whole day you've been telling her all the bad things, speaking words that paint negative pictures. And then it comes time for bed, and you're in the mood. And she's not responding. What's her problem? Never ever responds to me. Well, we'll look at that shortly. At what men need. A woman wants to be touched. Touched in a way that you're expressing your love. Touched because she's an object of beauty. Like you touch a child because they're so cute. Like you play with a puppy because it's so cute. There's no sexual connotation to it. There's no what you're going to get out of it. It's an expression of love. Tender touch. We should respond naturally that way, shouldn't we? You know, have you heard people talking nonsense to a little kitten? "Hon, you cute, you little stupid, you good doop." Amazing how stupid we act, eh? Why can't you do that with the woman? Well, that sounds corny. That feels stupid. "You're such a gorgeous, lovely thing. I just want to eat you up." Can't say words like that. It's unmasculine. Yeah, very unmasculine. That's your problem. You're being too masculine. Appeal to her femininity, to her womanhood. She wants to hear you say things like that every 5 minutes if you can afford it. She wants to hear it a dozen times a day. She wants to hear it every time you walk past her. She wants to hear words that make her feel good about herself. Words that build pictures. You say, "Well, I show her that I love her. I buy all the clothes she wants. I get anything she wants. We're in the shop, she can buy whatever she likes. I give her full freedom and liberty. I don't make any demands on her. I let her have all the liberty in the world. Man, I'm showing her that I love her. You know what? I go out of my way to do things for her. Isn't that enough?" I'm afraid not. You're not building pictures. You're not appealing to the right brain. You're appealing to the left brain like a man. A woman is not a man. It's the opposite poles that attract. You must appeal, and the only way that you can appeal to a woman is the correct use of words, because that's what she understands. That's why she's picking up these romance novels. Because in the romance novel, the beautiful hero of the story is telling the woman how wonderful she is and how much he loves her. And he's saying all the sweet nothings to her. And it's a beautiful fantasy world for her. You know, a woman who's got to keep reading romance stories is not getting those words from her husband. That's why she reads all the love stories and the true confessions and all the garbage that's out there. And she starts to fantasize about how wonderful it will be to have a man like that who will say those tender, gentle things and touch me gently and think I am a beauty queen and treat me as though I'm the most wonderful thing in this world. That's what she's looking for. She doesn't have to look out there. She's got a man right here who can do all of that. Is it that difficult to speak those words? Is it that difficult to say something that to you sounds totally corny? I mean, guys don't say stupid, soppy things. I mean, guys are tough. Don't be a guy. She's a woman, not a guy. Don't treat her like a man. Don't think she responds. You know, sometimes a guy will just punch another guy like that to express emotion. Hey, I like you. Punch. You don't do that to a woman. Hey, I love you. Punch. You know what I mean? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't get her wanting to take her clothes off and let's go make love now. Trust me. It's a masculine approach. She wants fantasy. She wants romance. And what is romance really after all? You can create romance with the words that you speak. You can make her feel like she's in heaven. You can make her feel like she is the star of that novel or that romantic movie. That's what a woman wants. That is how you communicate your love to her. Now the man, he's very different. The man needs action. The man doesn't want his wife saying, you know, you're the most handsome guy in the world and I really love your muscle. Yeah, there's times that may have an appeal, but it doesn't happen. Now I want to show you something. And we'll cover it further as we go. Go and read the Song of Solomon. And read what the man says and what the woman says. Now the woman responds to words that are spoken to her. The man responds to action. It's been like that from the beginning, isn't it? How did the serpent reach Eve? Scripture says, and the serpent said to Eve. Now how did Eve reach Adam? Yeah, have some fruit. Action. She didn't call him aside and say, Adam, sweetheart, you're such a big, hunking, strong man, and I would just love you to eat this fruit. She didn't have to do that. She said, yeah, eat some fruit, it's great. He responded immediately to her actions. A man always responds to action. A man doesn't want to be told, he wants to be shown that you love him. But you see, because the woman is used to words, and she loves words, and she's into the romantic thing. She thinks she's going to stir up her husband by saying nice words to him, by saying to him the things that she would like him to say to her. The man does not respond. He said, well, I keep telling him that I love him. I keep telling him how special he is. You don't need that. Because actions speak louder than words. And a man does not respond to words, he responds to actions. Why? Because he's left-brained. You don't want to build pictures with words. You've got to appeal to his left brain. Well, how do you stir the emotions of a man? You don't paint pictures with words. You paint a picture with your body. You make the picture so loud and clear, he doesn't have to think in his mind to see. He opens his eyes and he sees. And he likes what he sees. You've got to act your love out and display it. You know what? A woman doesn't have to come to a man and stir him up and say nice things to get him in the mood for love. She just needs to walk in the room looking like a gift wrapped up. And he's ready to unwrap. He's ready to respond with all the emotion in the world. Have you seen how emotive guys get when they're stirred sexually? Isn't it amazing that this dry, dead guy who can never say two words suddenly has so much to say when he's turned on? And so if he spoke those words to me before he was turned on, then I might respond to him and let him get turned on. So which one comes first? The woman is waiting for the tender words and the man is waiting for the wow. Which one comes first? Well, you know, it's like the principle we taught in forgiveness. When two people have had a fight, who's responsible to resolve it? The one who was wrong or the one who was right? Well, both, of course. Both together. And if both of you are together, fully expressing that love and meeting one another's needs, those two magnets are pulling strong. Really strong, let me tell you. You can't keep them apart. The man wants to be touched sensually. You don't need you to stroke him and tell him he's a good boy. Nice puppy. Yeah, I kind of can't help as well just to be treated like a little boy and have a mummy's love. It does kind of appeal to a man. But you want to stir a man, touch him sensually. Come and rub your body against him. Just bump him and touch him. And he gets stirred immediately. He responds immediately. Because most women don't want to allow that because we've got to keep him turned down. We don't want him turned on. We've got to keep him turned down until I'm ready. Why? Why? You should be making the first move. Well, he never ever expresses any love or emotion to him. Get him sexually turned on, you'll get all the emotion you need and more. Try it out. I don't care who he is. All men are the same, all women are the same where this is concerned. It's the way that God has made us. See, now we need to look at the opposite as well. A woman responds more to words, but there needs to be some kind of action. The days of chivalry are not over. A woman still wants to be treated like a lady. She still wants Sir Walter Raleigh to take his expensive suit and throw it in the mud for her to walk on. She still wants him to step out and open the door for her. Well, she's quite capable of doing it herself. Sometimes she's stronger than him. It doesn't matter. A man must demonstrate in tender, loving action. And what does a woman do? Go and read the Song of Solomon. You find 3 occasions where the man speaks to his lover and tells her how beautiful she is from her toes up. I mean, he describes every part of her body. When's the last time you told your wife how beautiful her feet are? He goes through the whole lot. I think he would have described some of the more private parts too if it wasn't like open to the public. They'd probably cut that part out of the story. He tells her how beautiful she is again and again. I scanned through the whole book this morning. I found 3 long sections where the man spoke to the woman and said beautiful things to her. No wonder Solomon had 1,000 wives. The women all wanted him. He knew how to stir a woman up to say the right things. Travel around town in his love carriage and he could pick up any woman. You want to be that kind of man? Well, not to go pick up a lot of women. He will be the kind of man that can appeal to women, and especially to your woman. Use the words. Now, I found one occasion where the woman spoke concerning her lover. And you know what's really interesting about it? She didn't speak to him. She never once spoke to him and said, "You're so big and strong, and your arms are like towers." You know who she said it to? She said it to everybody else. She said it to her friends. She said it to her companions. She said it to the world. She was bragging about him. She was saying, "You should see my husband. He's so tall and strong. He's so masculine. He's so wonderful. He's so everything." And she described him and his body and everything about him. See, the man responds to your actions. And your action is you are going to the world and glorifying him. And that's what the Bible says, the woman is the glory of the man. A man responds. You know, a man just needs to hear you speak to somebody else and she say, and to hear you say, "You know what, my husband, he's the best husband in the world. You know what, I wouldn't trade him for anything. He's just so great, and you should see how he does this." And you should. The masculine gets stirred up. He wants to just take her in his arms and love her. He feels such a good guy. He's a stud man. Huh? Maybe he didn't hear it directly. Maybe somebody else came and told him. He said, you know, your wife's always bragging about you. Your wife's always telling everybody how wonderful you are. You must be an awesome guy. I want to come and see what you look like and see if she says the truth. A man responds to action, not words. Don't tell him you love him. Show him you love him. And he's putty in your hands. He really is. He's putty in your hands. He'll do whatever you want him to do. We need to develop the language of love. Let's look at how we can do this practically. Well, we need to learn how to use words correctly. And we need to learn how to use actions correctly, don't we? So, let's have a look at this. How do we use words correctly? I covered it earlier. Use words that are filled with pictures and emotion. Words that will create positive feelings in the woman. Use positive words, not negative words. Nobody is motivated or feels good when they hear negative words. Not one of us. And women especially are so sensitive to it. You know, she dolls herself up and makes herself look really good. And when she walks out, it's ghastly. It really is. It's ghastly. The colors are all wrong. The makeup's wrong. And I really don't like that dress. What are you going to say? You really suck. Go and make yourself pretty. Well, you know, she just spent 3/4 of an hour making herself pretty. But she did it wrong. See, the way you use your words can make or break your chances tonight. So I need to tell her the truth. What is the truth? You look really lovely. You know what would really make you look even more beautiful? If you change the color of your lipstick. It's just a little bit too light. You know, I love dark red lipstick. Then she puts on the lipstick and you say, oh boy, the color's changed now. You know what, it's just, the color of your dress just doesn't go with the lipstick now. Lovey, why don't you put on that red dress? You know, you look so good and it'll go perfect with that lipstick. I really think you look great. She's going through the whole wardrobe. And as she does, you say, wow, now, oh man, now you're shining. Now, do we have to go out? Can't we just stay and go to bed? Words, positive words, to make a woman feel good about herself, to stir up her emotions. Why must she go to the world and watch the romantic movies and read the sexy romantic novels and fall in love with a make-believe character that does not exist? You have the power in your hands to be the most wonderful romantic character in her life. You have the power in your hands to build the romantic fantasy that she's crying out for. And all it's going to take is words. You know what? You don't have to dress in your G-string and show your muscles. She don't need that. She don't need that. Just use words correctly. Romantic words. Oh, romantic words. What are romantic words? Romantic words are words that portray fantasy. Not reality, fantasy. Do you know what? When you tell her she's the most beautiful woman in the world, she knows jolly well she's not the most beautiful woman in the world. But she wants to get into this little fantasy where she really feels like she's the most beautiful woman in the world. Where she's the princess. And the prince is coming in wanting to take her to his castle. Oh boy. Kiddie stories. Silly, feminine, over-romantic things. Perhaps. But that's what she's wanting. You say, well, how can I say something stupid and corny? You know? I mean, it's rubbish. You know what? I just love the way your toes curl. Well, there's better parts of the body to describe than the toes. It's not difficult to describe the nice parts, is it? Huh? You know what? I wouldn't want to be with any other woman because the shape of your breasts. You know, I've never seen anything like it. They just satisfy me so. They're the most wonderful. Your legs are so long and sexy. I don't know. Sweet nothings, we call it in English. Sweet nothings. What does it mean? It means you're really saying nothing, but it means everything. You know, if you can play with a little child and say, oh my Gucci, 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 Gucci. I couldn't say that to my wife. Why not? She's cuter than the puppy. Far cuter. And the rewards are far greater too. And that's a very good reason to do. Do you know, in this world, it's a known fact that a man can pick up a woman with the right words. We call them pick-up lines. And they're as old as Noah's Ark. And women still fall for them. They even know what it means. They even know the guy's just trying to get her into bed. But you know, if he has the guts to say it, she melts. She collapses. He did collapse on the first one. He hits her with a few more. She's powerless. A woman is powerless to the right words. She will collapse. And he's an ugly, horrible looking guy. He's not Prince Charming. But he's saying the right words. Tender, romantic words. Now those words don't always need to be spoken. Have you ever known a man who kept all the letters, all the love letters that were written by his lover, and reread them every now and then to get stirred up? I've never heard of it. I'm not saying men don't, but I just never heard of it. You know? But the woman, she kept the very first note that he gave her. I mean, it's something like, meet you at lunch. It's precious. It's precious to her. It's his words to me, meet me at lunch. She keeps all the love letters. She goes and rereads them just to get stirred up and to fall in love again. Come on. Anybody out there? Words. You want to make your words last longer? Write them down. Write beautiful love letters. Oh, we're afraid to do that in case somebody else sees it, huh? They work. Write a beautiful poem. Beautiful poem. You say, well, I can't write poetry. Do you know what? Just write a whole lot of lines. Beautiful words, and it'll be poetry to her soul. Very easy to write poetry. And what is poetry? Poetry is an expression of the heart. Well, you know, on these queer, effeminate guys, they're the ones that write poetry, you know. William Shakespeare types. Well, perhaps those men had women in their lives that meant something to them. And that's why they were writing the poetry. Not so they could display what wonderful poets they were, but so that they could express in romantic words of fantasy that are filled with emotion. They could express to the woman what she means to them. You ever written your wife a poem? Give it a try. And if you want, put music to it and make it into a song. And write a song especially just for her. Not just a love song, not any old love song, but a love song. This is just for you. And you play it there in your bad strumming on the guitar. And the chords are a bit confused, and the rhythm's all mixed up. But the angels are singing. She's in the heavenly choir. She's hearing words that were written just for her. She's hearing music that was written just for her. You know, a woman feels so special if a man will make her feel special. And you'll do it with your words, no matter how you communicate them. If you're going out, leave a little note. Simple little note. She'll probably keep it. Especially if you say something nice. It really means a lot to a woman. But us guys, we just take it for granted. Well, you know, I just wrote her a note. You know? I just wrote a little letter. Sweetheart, don't forget to pay the phone. You know, if you add it afterwards, love you, can't wait to get home and see you again. I'm going to miss you all day while I'm at work. She's waiting for you to get home. Dressed in the sexiest clothes you ever saw. Words. Well, let's look at the man. A man is very practical, very down to earth, very intellectual, very emotive. A man responds to action. What kind of action? Loving service. Sweetheart, would you like a cup of coffee? Can I make you a cup of tea? Can I get a drink for you? You look so tired. You just sit down there and I'll organize. Are you hungry? What can I make you to eat? Whatever you want. Very romantic. It is for a man. It says to him, she loves me enough to make an effort. You know, I'm special enough to her. And you know, she's been working all day and she's tired and she makes the effort to come and wait on me and serve me. A man almost feels insecure because his wife's doing this for him. And the only thing that can come out is, oh, she's so precious. I love her so much. The emotion comes forth. He can't help it. He's a man. He responds to loving action. He pulls open the drawer and there's clean socks and clean shirts. Don't ever think that this is a minor issue. You keep his socks and his shirts and his clothes available and clean, and he thinks, do you know what? She had so much washing to do, but she considered me first. She made sure all my socks were there and all the shirts. She knows what I need to wear. She cares. He looks at that pile of socks and his heart is stirred with love. And he thinks, man, you know what? You know, I've got such a wonderful wife. I wonder how many other wives would keep this up for their husbands. You know? Don't ever, ladies, think that these are small things. They're an expression of your love. They're saying in action to your man, I love you, you're special, you're important to me. And the man takes note of those and he says, she really does think about me. She really does care. And when they're not there, what is he thinking? Do you know what? I'm not important enough to her that she could make the effort just to wash a few socks. You know? Never got any clean hankies. She just couldn't be bothered. Now she's telling him all the time she loves him. Forget it. Don't come and tell me you love me and you didn't wash my socks. It's the other way around. Really? And then dress to bless. You know, you see a woman who's going out to work. She's going out to the public. She's going out to some event. And she dolls herself up and she wears the best dress she has with the smartest shoes. And the makeup is made perfect and her hair is spotless. So that she creates a good impression out there. But today she's not going out, so you know what? I want to dress comfortable at home. I'm just going to wear the most comfortable stuff. And the baggy t-shirt, and the ugly shoes. And I don't have time to do my hair. What are you saying to your man? The people out there are so important that I'll make an effort to make myself beautiful for them. But you are not important enough for me to make myself beautiful for you. Your actions are speaking louder than your words. And you're saying, I don't really love you. Man wakes up and there's his wife standing over him. She's looking gorgeous. She's looking beautiful. You've got makeup on. You know, we're not doing anything today. We're not going anywhere. There's no reason to dress up. There is a reason to dress up. He's the reason to dress up. And he looks at it and he thinks, wow, you look gorgeous. Why are you all dressed up? And she says, I wanted to make you happy. I know you love this dress. I put it on specially for you. What is the man thinking? She's got some ulterior motive, that's what it is. She wants something from me. Well, you may be right. But until we find that out, let's take advantage of it. He's stirred. He's stirred immediately. He cannot help it. He thinks, she loves me. She loves me. You know, I'm so special. I've never seen her do that for anybody else. She does it for me. Dress to bless. And then when it comes to bedtime, you take off everything that's false. And you're seeing au naturel. Well, you know, the au naturel may not look so good. Pale lips without any makeup on, no lipstick. Nothing on your face, your hair's all a mess. Because you're going to sleep now. Are you? Learn to dress for bed. Dress for bed. Well, you know, the undies served me well during the day to wear under my clothes. I don't need them anymore. Well, there should be some undies that you wear especially for bed. They're not going to stay on long anyway. Doesn't really matter. But you dress up the most beautiful that you can. But now, you know what you do? You wait until he's gone to sleep in case he gets stirred up. And then you crawl in quickly when he's not looking. Huh? Try making yourself beautiful and waking him up. And he opens his eyes and he looks up, and what does he see? I tell you what. I don't care if it's 4 o'clock in the morning. He gets new life. She cares. You touch him. Give him a beautiful soft kiss. Rub your body against his. Sexual, sensual touch. The man responds immediately. He responds and he begins to pour out emotion and he says, you look lovely. Well, I never said that when we went out last night. You've shown him by your actions that he's special. You're saying, here I am. I'm available to you. I want to give you all I have because I love you so much. Unprovoked affection. One of the best ways to communicate love. Unprovoked affection. What does that mean? He's sitting there watching a movie. And you walk up to him. And you put your arms around him. You just give him a gentle kiss. You don't make demands. You don't say, I'm in the mood for love now. Cut off the movie. No. Just a gentle kiss and a hug. And then you sit there watching the movie with him. And every now and then he's looking across and he's trying to decide between you and the movie. If you're good, you'll win. Just can't make him switch off the movie. Can't make him stop playing the game. He's really into his game. A good chill out before he goes to bed. And every time he looks across, he sees this beautiful, curvaceous, sensual woman lying there. And he's torn. He's torn. You know, I'm enjoying the game, but you know what? The game can wait. Well, we don't want to stir him up in the middle of the day. Why not? Sex is good any time of day. For a man. No matter. Morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night. No matter. Give him the right stimulus. He's ready. So I don't want to stir him up and all he wants is sex all the time. Do you want an expression of his love? Do you want him pouring out the emotion and the beautiful words that you want to hear? When a man is sexually stirred, he says stupid things. He does stupid things. He suddenly becomes soppy and loving and tender. Goes with the course. It's automatic. Stir it up with your actions. Unprovoked little displays of your love. The things you do. That's what stirs a man up. And for a woman, a full display of your femininity. Now, what are the qualities of femininity? Number one, weakness. Your man is not going to respond to your strength. He wants to use His strength to help you in your weakness. Have you ever noticed how many husbands will spend all the time and effort in the world helping the poor widow next door and fixing her house and her car and everything else? And his wife's nagging him and saying, how come you never fix anything here? I've been on you for ages now to fix the tap and it's still leaking. The woman out there just says, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. My tap is leaking. And he says, I'll tell you what, I'll come help you. I know how to fix it. Come show me. And he's there. Maybe even in the middle of his game. Yeah, well, that is a failure in the man. He's displaying love to other women, not to his wife. Yes, I'm not saying it should be that way. But have you ever wondered why a man does that? Because you are so strong, you're capable of doing it yourself. You don't need him. You're not weak enough. And he thinks, well, why should I bother? She doesn't need me. You know what? She could probably fix the tap better than I could. Here's the tools. Help yourself. And she probably could. Don't ever let him know that. Don't ever let him know that. Make him think that he's the one who's capable. Masculinity is strength. Isn't that what a woman looks at? When we looked at comparing the two, about the laws of attraction, a woman responds to the strength of the masculinity. Well, the masculinity responds to the weakness of the femininity. A weak feminine woman makes a man want to stand up and pour out all his love to cover her and protect her. And so the second thing that she must display is dependence. No place here for the spirit of independence. Dependence. You're totally dependent on him. You can't live without him. Sweetheart, when you're not here, I don't know what to do in the house. If somebody phoned, I don't know what to say. Yeah, well, it's not good to be that useless. But make him think that you are that useless. So that he stands up and he says, my wife needs me. Woman next door, she can go find her own guy. My wife needs me. She's my priority. I must care for her first. She's depending on me. And of course, the ultimate is submission. Submission. And a woman submits to a man. He's got this person on his hands. And he's got to do something with it. He doesn't have much choice because she's just submitted. She's just totally submitted. And he says, well, I really don't know what we should do in this situation. I can't make a decision. Sweetheart, what do you think? And she says, I'm right behind you, whatever you decide. Yeah, but I'm not sure what to decide. I believe in you. I know that you'll come up with the right decision. If he doesn't know what to do, he's going to find some other man to get some advice. But he's going to make the decision. And he's going to stand with it. And he's going to feel good about himself. Because you are depending on him. You are in submission to him. The masculine in him just wants to pour out and protect and provide for you. That's the way God made a man to be. And so in conclusion, God has made men and women to respond differently. It requires the right use of words to stir up love in a woman. It requires the right use of actions to stir up love in a man. If you can learn to do this right, then the natural result is true love.